So we're going to router 1 and we're going to apply one line of the ACL. So we're going to name it so it's IP access list extended. Cisco's the password. Class config T. So I'm just kind of showing you the question mark because it's a very, very useful if you don't have extensive daily activity with routers and switches. So IP access extended, question mark. Okay, so now we can do capital, remember, case sensitive. So it's extend enterprise. So notice the prompt change. We went into a different prompt. We were in config, now we're in extended ACL. So let's go ahead and copy the first. Okay, so now what we want to do, I'm going to show the run because I want to make sure I don't have any. Okay, so fast Ethernet doesn't have the enterprise. Remember, we have to apply the ACL now. So once we apply it, we're going to do IP access group extended out on FA00. You can exit if you want. You don't really need to. If you know your command, you just type it out. So we want to go to the interface. So it gave me an incomplete command because I forgot in or out. Remember, ACLs are directional. So we're going to do out. Now, let's look at the first line says, anybody from 172.16.1.0 can do DNS through TCP. So let's find out if web browser uses TCP or UDP. So rpm.org would be the domain. We're waiting for a timeout or a web page. Or my computer froze. No error. Okay. So let's apply the second line because what it's allowing is UDP. So we're going to copy that command. We're already in. We got to go back to the access list. So IP. IP access list extended. So now we got back to from config if to config ACL. Paste. Do show access list. All right, so now we see we have a TCP and a UDP using port 53 domain. So looks like it's not working. So let's go ahead and remove the ACL real quick. So let's remove this command. Put no in front of it to make the negative. So the ACL was actually working because now we can get to, so do we look at, let's go back to apply it. Uh, did we allow web browsing yet? Oh, that's the next two lines. So your DNS was working. It won't let you web browse yet. So we're going to do port 80 and 443 next. So let's go do your port 80, which are these line 30. I'm going to put them into the ACL. So we got to go back in. So now we're back from config if to config ACL, and we can paste. So now let's go ahead and see if web browsing and DNS are working. So you can see that services that are dependent on other services are very, the ACLs become very complicated. So let's go ahead and then finish up these others. So remember, only the 172 network is allowed to do all web browsing to 100, but only this host is allowed to web browse to 101. And then also with the secure web browsing. So we'll copy 30 and 40 and 50, put it in the router. Well, let's test that theory. So currently, if we look at these lines, it's only dealing with 101. So host 101 or 100. So let's go ahead and test 101 to get to 101 server. So only 101 will get to the server through web browsing, and only 100 will get to secure web browsing after these two lines are applied. So we'll test out. So we'll go to 100 to go through web browsing to 101. So web browsing through IP 100. So web browsing works on PC.100, PC.200. Okay, so let's go ahead and apply those two lines of ACL. Show access lists. So you can see here our matches now. They're actually working and actually filtering the traffic based off of what we're doing. So then we'll go ahead and finish out the rest of these with, so currently if we try to email, it's going to fail. If we try to FTP, it's going to fail. So those are all services that we have not enabled yet. So let's enable them. So copy and paste. So now we should not be able to email with the ACL working. So let's go to Team S Caldwell. So I say send. I'm going to go down here. It's trying to send. It connection timed out because this PC is not allowed to send or receive, only PC. Let's look at our ACL. Would be the 172.101, or sorry, the 102. The 102 is only allowed to do SMTP and POP. So if we remove, once again, so now if we try to do the same email, and we see it's successful. So that's the application for ACLs.